The annual summit of the World Economic Forum in Davos ends today. The summit this year has been overshadowed by global economic worries, Russia-Ukraine war. How have the last few days of the summit been? And WION's business editor Sumit Chaturvedi joins us for more on this. Sumit, thank you so much for joining us. Now, just to begin with, can you bring us up to speed with the key highlights from the summit this year?
Big problems that are plaguing the world economy, they dominated and overshadowed the World Economic Forum's annual summit this time. They included Russia-Ukraine war, high inflation. Also, this growth is also slowing down across the world. These are some of the major issues and fears of recession. Well, these all dominated the annual summit here in Davos. Overall, it has been quite nice 5 days here, and the discussions between stakeholders, including business leaders, political leaders, thought leaders, they all took place here in Davos at the Congress Center. The whole idea how to take the world out of the current problems and move it towards the path to prosperity. The only solution towards all the problems can come through discussion. That's what the major point was, and discussions between political leaders, the central bank governors, business leaders, CEOs, because they are going to drive the overall economy. Remember, we have just come out of a COVID pandemic and recovery looks shaky in certain parts of the world, while other parts of the world cannot take high inflation, high oil prices, countries like Sri Lanka where economic crisis is also very severe. So keeping all that in mind, discussions took place over the last few days. WTO DG yesterday said that the food crisis can go on for more 2 years if Ukraine doesn't the ports there, they don't open. So keeping all that in mind, over the last 5 days, the discussions have been quite fruitful. They have been going on about all that.
Right, absolutely, Sumit. In fact, I was just going to come to that in terms of economic recovery post the pandemic and inflation. Now, what were the big takeaways in your opinion, and what are some of the solutions that have come out of these discussions?
One of the biggest factor is definitely oil. Oil is something which was not as high as it is now, over $110 a barrel it is touching. That is something keeping everybody at their, we can say that the highest of alertness level, because oil, the way it goes moving forward, it's going to decide the overall fate of the economies worldwide. Remember, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, small countries, they cannot bear the brunt. They cannot for a long time, they cannot digest all that happening with high oil prices. Sri Lanka, we have seen the way it's going. Pakistan, we have seen the way economic crisis is brewing there as well. So here, Saudi Arabia was there, UAE, Gulf countries, major oil producing nations except Russia were here as well. They have been requested to increase the production so that the more oil comes out and the prices fall down. Keeping all that in mind, it's the biggest summit here and where all the policymakers come together. German Chancellor Scholz, Israeli President, many heads of other states and economists, they all have been discussing and deliberating about these issues which are facing world economies.
Right. All right, Sumit, thank you so much for joining us with all the updates. Thank you. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.